Good morning, everyone. My name is Jean Gibson. This is the Master Builder Show, sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. I am president of Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, a registered builder in the state of Texas, and a graduate master builder certified by the National Association of Home Builders. Also a member of the U.S. Green Building Council. And my guest today is Jean Gibson, vice president of Gibson Home Builders.
He had no choice. He had to bring me.
Our topic today is going to be remodeling. So if y'all have any questions about remodeling, please give us a call today. We're going to try to cover as much of it as we can.
Well, one of the reasons we're covering remodeling, too, is we get statistics on all the hits on our website,
right.
Master Builder Show and GibsonHomebuilders.com. And an overwhelming percentage of people were researching our remodeling show. So that's why we thought there's a lot of interest there. There's a lot of information. And we find at Gibson Home Builders we're doing more remodeling, too.
Yeah, we have. We've picked
Since
up
the
quite
economy,
a bit.
We've picked up quite a bit on that side. So it was something really to address because it's such a good topic, and obviously people are interested.
Well, if you one thing you need to do, you need to check out builders and remodelers because there's a bunch of them out there that aren't registered. They don't have to be if they're doing jobs less than $10,000, but they do anything more than $10,000, they need to be registered with the TRCC. And you can check out those builders by going to www.masterbuildershow.com, and then it'll take you into my homepage and click on TRCC, which stands for the Texas Residential Construction Commission. And here you can find out if they've got any complaints against them or if they're registered or not. And you want to make sure they're registered. But anyhow,
the other thing about that, about going to the Master Builder Show, if you've missed anything on the shows, they're all podcast. So you can listen again, and then your text, which doesn't include my questions, the text is always up there. So the information is always available on our website. So we've got things to talk about today for remodeling. And,
well, most sources agree that home repair and remodeling businesses, they tend to be small and typically not managed very well. You know, they're not like a lot of the builders out here that attend all the meetings and go to all the associations.
And stay current.
I mean, and a lot of them tend to bid to get the job and not necessarily I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying there's quite a few of them out there that will bid a job just to get it, and they'll give you a price based on a low bid, and that's not always what you want. I mean, you need to get probably at least 3 bids on all your remodeling jobs, and you need to look at the background of each remodeler and call and get references if you can, and they should be able to provide you references.
Previous jobs,
yes,
and that they should certainly know about registering the job over $10,000. When we had the attorney on here, we talked about some things don't have to be registered.
Right, yeah, right. If you're doing just one thing, like if they're getting new floor and the floor runs $12,000, well, the flooring company doesn't have to register that. But if a remodeler comes in and he's doing 2 or 3 things, he's painting the house, he's maybe moving a wall or doing electrical work, and if he's doing multiple tasks in there and it adds up more than $10,000, then he has to register it.
And what's accomplished with registration? That's when all the required guarantees kick in?
Well, the remodeler should warranty all his work anyway. It just registers with the state. So if you have any problems, you can call TRCC, file a complaint or whatever, and then go through the process of resolution. Yeah. And that it's good for everybody. And if the remodeler is not registered, then you tend to wonder about him.
Well, you started telling me a story. First of all, you said you don't particularly like to do remodeling jobs over new construction because it's fixing something that's wrong. You like to start out fresh, and any builder would.
Well, it's easier. It's easier to start out fresh. It costs less because remodeling costs 2 to 3 times, sometimes 4 times more than building new.
Yeah.
Simply because you've got to update everything and bring it all back to code if you're doing, and this can be rather expensive, like this house I'm doing up in Rome right now.
Yeah, you started to tell me yesterday.
Well,
about that. The sheetrockers had to go back out there.
well, not the sheetrockers, the electricians.
Oh, okay.
And
this isn't your electrician.
No, this couple had hired electricians to come out and rewire the entire house. This is an existing house. It was built back in the 60s. And it didn't really need to be rewired, but it didn't have any grounded outlets or anything like that in the house, and they were worried about that. So they had them go back in, tear out the sheetrock, or cut holes in the sheetrock is what they did. And they put in can lighting throughout the house. I think they put in like 12 to 15 can lights. Well, what they did...
Define a can light.
A can light, or a recessed light, which goes up...
Oh, the ceiling lights.
The ceiling lights that are recessed, that are round, that go up through the sheetrock. Well, the problem is they have to be IC rated, which means that you can put insulation over them. Uh-huh. And if you don't, most of them now have a thermistor in them that if they heat up to a certain point, then they'll shut off. And they'll also, you got risk of fire. Mm-hmm. And so I had my insulators go out there because we're going to increase the amount of insulation in there. And I got to look into can lights, and none of them are IC rated. And so,
it's the IC rating, something that would make a light cost more, wouldn't it?
Yes, they do cost more.
So by putting a less expensive fixture in there, the electrician was making more money on the job, wasn't he?
Well, he did the job. He went back and replaced all of them at no cost. But he was actually liable if there was a fire, and consequently, I may have been liable. And so I need to go in and check all these things out and make sure that they're done to code, and he's following all the rules. And so we had him come back in and pull out all the ones that weren't IC rated, cut bigger holes in the sheetrock, and put all these things in. And you can buy the ones that aren't IC rated. A case of 12 for about $60 or $70, and the other ones, with light kits and all, run about $20 a piece. So, he was saving money, but you need to watch for that. If you need to be a smart consumer if you're hiring a remodeler and they're doing.
Yeah, but how are they going to know?
Well, just actually have them show you the box, or have them show you the light, and it should be IC rated on the light fixture, and it's got all sorts of warnings on the other ones that if insulation's too close or on top of this unit, then it will not work correctly, and they overheat. And I don't particularly care for can or recessed lighting or can lighting because in our kitchen in Granbury, it heated the kitchen up substantially. Yeah, they put off a tremendous amount of heat. Kitchen. And we've got to take our first break, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Are you having a construction-related issue? Do you need a construction attorney? If so, you may call the law firm of Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Kelly's family background in the construction industry has led to her focus in construction litigation, with over 9 years of experience practicing construction law in and around the metro area. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com, or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009.
KMDA's principal office is located in Louisville, Texas.
Fort Worth Lighting, serving Parker, Wise, Palo Pinto, and surrounding counties with a selection of interior and exterior lighting fixtures. They also have ceiling fans, mirrors, and vanities in all sizes. A lighting consultant will help you with your decisions. For an appointment with a Fort Worth Lighting consultant, the number is 817-597-6320, or the website is fortworthlighting.com. 817-597-6320 for Fort Worth Lighting.
North Texas Basements, 817-770-2768. With over 30 years of experience in residential construction, Add extra living area, storm protection, and extra room that will be easy to heat and cool without needing a large piece of ground to build on. Think about having a basement in your next home. North Texas Basements, 817-770-BSMT or 817-770-2768. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. My guest today is Jean Gibson, my wife, and cohort, and she had some questions about...
Cohort.
Yeah, cohort. Anyhow, you were saying something about people going out and hiring individual contractors to come in. Well, the thing on this job up there is this house was built, like I said, in probably about the 60s. And they wanted to make sure all the mechanical systems were right. It had a window unit. They pulled that out, and they had an air conditioning people come in, put in central air unit. They had plumbers come in, tear out the sheetrock some more, replumb it with all PVC drain pipes, and also they put PEX in it. They took out all the other plumbing. They replumbed it totally, and they hired their own plumbing contractor to do that. And then they came back in. They said, well, none of the plugs are grounded. And so they decided, well, let's just go ahead and rewire the whole house. And so they did that also. And then they come to me and say, well, fix it, fix everything. You know, I mean, we want new flooring. We want you to tear out this wall. We want you to enclose the garage. We want, fix all the holes.
All the carpentry.
All the carpentry. Mm-hmm. And we did all the carpentry work, we're going to be doing all the sheetrocking, all the texturing. And there's probably 20 to 50 holes in every room. And it's going to be a nightmare.
You know, it would make sense, though, as you say, for someone that's really interested in a big job like this, that's effectively, they call it remodeling, but you're effectively rebuilding their whole house.
Yeah, we're rebuilding it. It would have been easier and faster and
probably less expensive to build a new house, wouldn't it?
Well, no, probably not less. It wouldn't be less expensive to build a new house, but it would be easier and better if they would hire just me or one person to oversee everything and go in and check out everything. So there's no duplication. But you're going back in and checking everything out anyway. Well, I'm checking it out anyway because by duplication, I mean that the electrician sees the situation. You bring in another specialty who may have requirements that they add something that needs more electricity that wasn't prepared, designed, and planned in the beginning. That's what I mean by duplication, where you have to bring an electrician back in. Where if you've got one contractor coordinating the whole action, it is smoother. Well, it's smoother, but it's orchestrated. It's orchestrated. And when you're hiring these people, all your electricians have to be licensed. All your plumbers, I mean, they have to be working for a licensed plumber or a licensed electrician. There has to be a master somewhere involved in the higher up echelon that checks their work. And your HVAC systems, which is your air conditioning heating system, they need to be licensed. If you just hire a handyman, you see these guys all the time that are just call themselves a handyman. Right. Well, is there any criteria for them? Is there any liability? Not unless they do work over $10,000. And then it doesn't matter what they call themselves. They don't, but they have to register as a builder because there's no registered remodelers or registered handymen. Yeah. You register as a builder and you do remodeling projects. And just like me, I'm a member of the National Remodeling Council. I'm on the National Association research team. And I'm involved with all these organizations. But you need to be because technology is changing so fast that you need to stay up on all the building science and on all the newest techniques and all the newest codes. The codes don't change that often, but when they change, they're usually fairly drastic. And it doesn't matter if you're living in the city or the county or anywhere else. There are state of Texas requirements now. Standards set by the TRCC. They're codes set by the TRCC, which have to be followed no matter where you are in the state.
So your little handyman needs to recognize all these things as well.
He needs to know all the rules.
Yeah.
Everybody that does any kind of construction work or residential construction work, remodeling, repairs, if he's doing, he needs to know the actual codes and follow the codes because he actually is liable for anything that may happen in the future.
Yeah. If
they come back and sell that house down the road and they bring inspectors in and inspect something and something hasn't been done right or up to code, then the customers are going to have it fixed or repaired to even put it on the market. So, there's all sorts of things that you have to consider when you're doing that.
Well, the other thing that you had mentioned, too, that was interesting when we talk about taking the lowest bid, and it was always that, would you like to drive across a bridge that was built by the guy with the lowest bid or be in the airplane with the guy that just put in the lowest bid? So you really have to look at those bids.
I work on transmissions.
You really have to look at those bids and find out what you're getting and who's going to be there next year to follow up.
Well, if you're taking 3 or 4 bids and the bid range is $5,000 apart, there's something, they need to be bid apples to apples. And so you need a breakout or a breakdown of everything that's going to be performed. And the thing about remodeling is if I go into a house, I'm going to bid it a little high on a remodel job. And you've got to bid it high because you don't know what's going to happen when you tear out the wall and what you're going to find. And most of them are kind of a cost plus type deal. So when you go in and you do find something, because you need to include what you're going to do on your contract. And if there's something above and beyond that, then it may end up being thousands of dollars, not just hundreds, but thousands. When they tear out a wall completely and it's all covered with black mold, then you've got to go into and like a remediation type deal where you go in and tear everything out, dry everything out, make sure you kill all that black mold, and make sure you find where the water intrusion is because black mold requires food and water just like we do. It's a live organism. But
we were watching a show on television. And they were remodeling houses. And that was one of the things they ran into. They ran into termites, which they treated. They minimally replaced the wood that the termites had damaged. And I
think it was Flip Your House or something like that.
We don't want to name who they were because they were covering up black molds.
Well, I don't know that for a fact.
Well, they bleached the walls.
Okay,
and then theoretically they killed it.
Right.
Well, what we knew for sure was they bleached the walls, and that may not be a solution. So even buying a house that has been remodeled, where you get one of these companies that's flipping houses, you need to take a real close. That's where the
that's where you
hire
the inspector that comes in, and he will actually go through the house, and then the liability is kind of placed on him if he's missing something. On
the inspector.
Yeah. I mean, if he inspects it and says, "Oh, this house is just super," and it's not,
you fall through the floor.
It's something wrong. We've got to take another break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Are you having a construction-related issue? Do you need a construction attorney? If so, you may call the law firm of Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Kelly's family background in the construction industry has led to her focus in construction litigation with over 9 years of experience practicing construction law in and around the metro area. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009. KMDA's principal office is located in Louisville, Texas.
Fort Worth Lighting, serving the building professional in Parker, Wise, Palo Pinto, and surrounding counties. Services include planned takeoff, site walkthrough, and delivery. For an appointment with a Fort Worth lighting consultant, the number is 817-597-6320, or the website is fortworthlighting.com. Again, it's 817-597-6320 for Fort Worth Lighting.
Alamo Appliance, 100 South Riverside Drive in Fort Worth, has been dedicated to serving your needs in kitchen appliances for over 35 years. They offer Genair, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and many others. Their experienced sales staff will help you make the right decisions at the right time. That's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701. Once again, that's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701.
I'm Jean Gibson, and I love Weatherford, and I'm proud to offer Zion Hill Estates. Zion Hill Estates is a country development 5 minutes from the center of Weatherford, grocery stores, hospitals, banks, department stores, and in the Peaster School District. 1 acre lot minimums gives you space to spread your arms and enjoy country living. 2 or more acres will give you space for your horse or your goats. Gibson Home Builders, 682-429-2116, will build you the home of your dreams in Zion Hill Estates. Go north of the square to 920, left on Zion Hill Road for 2.4 miles to Zion Hill Estates. We'd like to show you the land and an energy-efficient model home. The number is 682-429-2116.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I'm your host, Jim Gibson. My guest today is Jean Gibson, and we were talking about during the break, I guess you had some questions about what people could do.
Yeah, you know, that the last time we talked about remodeling, you went into how they can do all the insulation pieces.
Right.
And those are big
windows.
Change out windows, seal leaks around
Radiant
doors.
barriers.
The extra insulation up in the attic. We've talked about closed cell foam.
Right.
Well, there's another level that occurs to me as being important, why I would like to remodel. And, you know, I happen to enjoy moving walls around.
Right.
But if you look at the criteria for him, I don't see why that's funny. The criteria for a remodeling job would be, to me, one of the key things would be extra storage space. Everybody wants to have more storage.
Right.
They need more living space, and they want to update.
Okay.
So what I'm looking for, Mr. Remodeler, are ways that I can add one of these 3 pieces: more storage, more living space, and updating. And if you'll address those things, what can we do, first of all, for more storage space?
Well, really, if you want to increase the living area, you're going to have to increase the size of the house. So you're looking at it.
Well, you already switched gears on me.
Well, how else are you going to increase the space?
Well, one of the ways that you could increase, it's not increasing.
You're talking about individual.
We're talking about storage. First of all,
storage.
It's a real issue. After you've been in a house for a long time,
have the kids moved out?
That's when we cleaned out the attic. But everything seems to be filled up with stuff.
Right.
So the shows that I like to watch are the ones that talk about staging your house, preparing your house to sell it, because they have such great ideas. And what they do is unclutter. So the first thing to do in finding more storage space then is to unclutter your house. And I read all your mail, you know, and you've got some great brochures on closets. Once you declutter the house, you take the excess stuff out.
Right.
In fact, Oprah Winfrey just did a show on a lady and uncluttered her house. 75 tons of trash was removed from their 3,000 square foot house. 1,800 storage bins containers of things to put into a garage sale.
She liked to shop.
She liked to shop. She couldn't find, she had pathways through her house.
Right.
Now, remodeling and changing the insulation isn't going to do a scrap for this lady. She needs to declutter. But tell me about closets and storage space and building in garages. These are all things that a remodeler can do for you.
Oh, yeah.
You declutter the house.
You need to actually look at your house, and if you've got extra bedrooms, say, or so you've
That's
got,
one we just did.
Well, you've got like a 4-bedroom house,
Yeah.
and all the kids have moved out, and it's just mom and pop living there. Look at making one of those bedrooms a walk-in closet dressing area, and that's we've done that in 2 or 3 houses where we go in and there's no kids around. They want to keep maybe it's even a 3-bedroom house. They want to keep 1 bedroom for guests, but they don't have any closet space or very little. And you can take like a 10 by 10 because some of these little small bedrooms are 10 by 10.
That makes a great closet.
It makes a wonderful closet, and we've done that in some of the houses we've redone and knocked out.
You've done that for me, and I like that. We cut through from the master bedroom. Cut through a wall.
Right. We cut a hole in the wall and then took out that closet in that bedroom and made the whole bedroom a closet.
Yeah.
We put dressers in there. We put mirrors in there.
All the built-ins.
We put multiple racks for hanging short clothes and long clothes. And we increased our storage space because I think that bedroom's 12 by 14 now. Or the closet's 12 by 14.
Yeah, but it's a great space. The other thing that I loved in our house in Granbury is I had the washer and the dryer in the master closet, especially when it's down to the 2 of you. When you're considering remodeling, to have the washer and dryer in there because that's where the dirty clothes are generated and put away.
Well, we had another closet you walk in. I had a seat in there that you sit down, take off your clothes, and you throw them in the hamper there. You take them out of the hamper, put them in the washer, take them out of the washer, put them in the dryer, take them off the dryer, and hang them back up.
Yeah. It was a great remodeling idea, was to use that extra space for storage. And I think if people will declutter their houses first.
That's called a dumpster.
Garage sales, a nicer
you call
way to
your
put
remodel and say, "Hey, bring a dumpster out here." And let's.
But the closet companies now, one of them we keep running into is a closet specialist. Even Home Depot and Lowe's have all those materials down there, suggestions. But there are specialists that will design closets for you to make them very efficient, so that your clothes are better cared for. And then all the clutter is contained. You can actually find this. When we moved into that new big closet from the little cramped up things that the house had originally,
it was some new clothes.
We found all kinds of things that I didn't know I had that. And there were brand new clothes that had never been worn because they got stuffed into that dark little closet in the back. Right. It was really a treat.
Well, the best thing to do, like I said, is pull everything out of your closet and just look at the usable space that you do have. And, the older homes out here and stuff didn't have dual racks where we do now in most of these places where we build racks, 2 racks, one probably about 36 inches off the floor or 42 inches off the floor, and then the next rack so much up, and you've got place. It makes you a lot more, because most people have more short clothes than they do long clothes. I mean, in our
wardrobes
case,
have changed.
I mean, you've got pants and you've got shirts and you've got blouses and skirts and stuff like that. And then you also make an area where you can hang all your long stuff up, your dresses and
shelving and cubby holes for boots and for shoes, different kinds of shelving. So the closet designers for a remodeling job, suddenly we found out that we had more space in the master bedroom because we took out an extra dresser that became
actually 2 dressers.
That's right. We took out 2 dressers. So suddenly the master bedroom became bigger. We didn't need to enlarge the master suite at all because we had the closet space and we changed utilization of space. So it does give you more living space when you rearrange and declutter. Now, adding a room is what you'd bring a contractor in for. In fact, even opening up the wall, I had a contractor in the house that took down the wall. There was electrical work.
Yeah, we had to rewire. We took out the wall and then refinished the whole thing. But also in your house, if you want to make, without actually building on, to improve walking area and living area and actually open it up. Look at your halls. And if you can take out the walls between the hall and the living area or you know, sometimes they're possible to do that. And when you can open up and it'll give you another, it depends on when your house was built and what size the halls were. It'll give you 36 inches or so on, 3 foot plus whatever length it is onto that room. And that's one of the simple things to do. But you need to make sure that it's not load bearing, or if it's load bearing, you need to have a beam up there of some type to support it. That was another item we ran into up in this job we're working right now, is they had the house remodeled some three or 4 years ago. And they came in and they busted out a wall that separated the hall and the living room. Well, they didn't even look in the attic, I don't guess. And so when we got there, we had sheetrock cracked and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And we got the what we did, we cut out the rest of the wall, and then we built a pillar. And
something to hold the roof up.
Then ran a beam all the way back where the existing wall used to be and re-supported the roof. And so we pretty well eliminated all the new cracks and all the old cracks all possible cracks that are going to be in there, because we put the supports back in there that were there originally, that the way it was designed. Somebody removed. So if you're knocking down walls or you need to know a little more than just, I don't need the wall there. You need to actually go up and see if that is a supporting wall. Because you've got major problems if you knock out a supporting wall and the house falls down.
Yeah, some of these things are well beyond what a couple can do in their own house for fear of knocking things down. What can a couple do that doesn't require an electrician, a plumber, a brain surgeon in order to update their house or add space to it?
Well, you can change colors. I mean, if it was built back in the turquoise era or whatever.
You're changing the perception of the size.
Perception. And
lighter colors make things look larger.
Yeah.
The trend now, too, is in using darker colors. One of them, Sherwin-Williams, has a color called Spice. And it's a very dramatic orange-brown. It's called Spice. And
we talk about that color. No, what I think is popular is they're now having the college teams. You can paint your room for your favorite college team, like Texas or A&M or something like that. And it's specifically, it's not red, it's Oklahoma red.
Or it's Texas Tech orange.
No, Texas Tech red and black. Texas burnt orange.
Oh.
A&M maroon, blue and white.
Yeah. And it's probably the wisest thing to do if you're a graduate. But if you haven't decided on the college yet, don't get locked in on this. Well, I've even seen the air conditioning ads. Have you seen those where you put your college logo on your air conditioner?
Well, we have Durmar in here, and you can put my picture in your shower.
We've already talked about how gruesome that would be.
Back to Spice.
The main thing that you want to upgrade in most of your houses is going to be your kitchens and your bathrooms.
Well, I would think first thing would be first of all, you have to, once you declutter the house, you need to look at just giving it a good coat of paint. Paint's a huge upgrade.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The other place that ages a house is the hardware.
And the carpet and the flooring.
And carpet and the smell that stays there forever and ever. You'll notice your house smells better.
When you see one of those shows and say, I want to remodel, would it be good to watch the shows, take notes, and then call an inspector and say, here's what I saw on this show. Oh. Is this good or bad or...
Well,
that's the conversation with your contractor.
Yeah, if you get a good contractor in there, he pretty well knows the rules, knows all the codes. He knows what you cannot do, and most of it is based on your pocketbook. And like I said, most of these people,
like you were talking about those lights earlier.
Yeah, everything hinged on, because everybody's wanting to get the biggest bang for their buck, and it's not always the best thing to get the cheapest bid out there.
Well, in the case of the lighting, though, that's downright dangerous.
Well, it was dangerous, and that should have been caught. I was lucky. I was out there, or they were lucky that I was out there, and we caught that early on before. Because, if I just went in there and weren't paying attention, went ahead and sheetrocked it all, textured it all, painted it all, and then all of a sudden they come in, and these lighting fixtures were smaller. The recessed lighting was a smaller can because it just inserted up in there. And the ones that are made to put insulation over have an insulating barrier in between the can itself, and that actually is a housing that goes over the unit, so you can place insulation over it. And later on down the road, what would happen? They wouldn't be sitting in there in the light as those lights heated up, and with the thermistor in there that controls the heat, it would go to a certain temperature and the light would shut off. So they'd be sitting in the dark, and they would have these lights going on and off, not all at once, because each individual unit is controlled. So even if you've got 4 lights on the switch, you may have one at the end go off, one in the middle go off, and then it come back on when it cooled, and they just start strobing.
Oh my!
And so it would have been discovered after the fact, after we'd have finished, and then we'd had to have electricians come back, and if they could have found the electricians again, then they would have had to pull those lights out, replace them with the proper ones, bring me back or bring somebody back to do all the repairs to the sheetrock, retexture, repaint. And so you're just talking about a lot extra money that was not necessary.
But that thing with the lights, do you remember the couple that you and I spent some time with, visited up at our model home? And their complaint was their lights going on and off.
I didn't, and it didn't register to me that...
But they were complaining about their house, and that all the breakers would pop occasionally. They've had work done on this house.
They probably had a little more problems than just the wrong IC
But
lights.
it didn't occur to me either, because I've heard you say that about the lights going on and off. It's either a ghost or a cheap light.
Haunted. But the easiest thing to do in a house is go around, and it looks like we got to take another break. We'll be back here in just a second.
Okay. Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Are you having a construction-related issue? Do you need a construction attorney? If so, you may call the law firm of Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Kelly's family background in the construction industry has led to her focus in construction litigation, with over 9 years of experience practicing construction law in and around the metro area. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com, or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009.
KMDA's principal office is located in Louisville, Texas.
Fort Worth Lighting, serving the building professional in Parker, Wise, Palo Pinto, and surrounding counties. Services include planned takeoff, site walkthrough, and delivery. For an appointment with a Fort Worth Lighting consultant, the number is 817-597-6320, or the website is fortworthlighting.com. Again, it's 817-597-6320 for Fort Worth Lighting.
I'm Jean Gibson, and I love Weatherford, and I'm proud to offer Zion Hill Estates. Zion Hill Estates is a country development 5 minutes from the center of Weatherford, grocery stores, hospitals, banks, department stores, and in the Peaster School District. 1 acre lot minimums gives you space to spread your arms and enjoy country living. 2 or more acres will give you space for your horse or your goats. Gibson Home Builders, 682-429-2116, will build you the home of your dreams in Zion Hill Estates. Go north of the square to 920, left on Zion Hill Road for 2.4 miles to Zion Hill Estates. We'd like to show you the land and an energy-efficient model home. The number is 682-429-2116.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116.
Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I'm your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. My guest today is my wife, Jean Gibson. She is Vice President of Gibson Home Builders Incorporated.
That means I get to take the trash out and scrub the floor. Let's not get carried away.
Basically, I got you there to do the paperwork.
Chief cook and bottle washer. Anyway.
We're talking about remodeling today.
Right, but I want to focus on things people can do on their own.
Well, it depends on how talented they are.
Well, even things, I evaluate them on things that I could do myself.
Okay.
Now, if I want you to do a job, I start tearing down the wall.
Right.
And then go, oh, honey. But I have the benefit of having a builder, a contractor in the house. The second thing that I end up doing, too, is painting. A coat of paint changes, refreshes, and as you say, then you change out the flooring. The hard surfaces now are in, area rugs are in, and we've had Parker County Flooring in here to talk about different types of flooring.
Right.
The other thing that we have never talked about is hardware. And
well, we did last week.
Well, that was doors, that kind of hardware. Yeah. What I'm talking about is where your house shows its age, first, last, and foremost, is in the kitchen.
Yeah. The
kitchen and the bathrooms, once they're updated, can take years off a house. You get rid of the turquoise from the 70s. The 70s had a lot of tile countertops.
Right.
And they're back in. Personally, I don't like them because they're high maintenance. But that is something you can do on your own. I wouldn't try to do Formica or a laminate, but I would try to do tile work because it's not that hard. It's a jigsaw puzzle that you glue together. But a coat of paint, wallpaper.
Well, I just want to know what you think of Bellawood. That seems to be the wood nowadays that Bob Vila advertises and all that stuff.
Don't listen to Bob Vila.
Okay.
He advertised them because they sponsor his show primarily. So,
Well, what is Bellawood? Is it a different kind of wood?
Yes. It's what basketball courts are now being used. They're putting it on basketball courts. I've never seen it. I've seen it, but I've never seen why they do it. It's supposed to last 50 years and all that stuff. So
it's probably just the way it's treated. But
it's pre-treated before they bring it to the house.
Well, find out who they are. Well, check it out. Find out who they are and why they're so whiz-bang. Somebody else was saying that a couple took out their Formica counters and could only afford a little bit of granite.
Right.
So they eliminated counter space. And I said, that's really too bad because you can do a countertop out of wood. There's bamboo. There's all kinds of other materials that if you get creative, that you could use for countertops.
You kind of got to watch what you use in the kitchen, though, because it gets abused if you're going to set hot pots on it or something like that.
But it's a butcher block.
Well,
you could do that kind of surface.
A butcher block, but you don't want
and
that
you seal it.
The entire countertop, I wouldn't think.
Well, it depends on where the space is.
Right.
They used their hot space, and granite was all they could afford. So the other spaces, they eliminated the countertop. They eliminated the cabinets, which is unfortunate because they couldn't afford the countertops when there were other alternatives. So when you're remodeling the house and doing things yourself, you have to come out of the picture, stand back and look at it and get real creative.
The main thing that you can do is actually, like you said, paint, and then go in and look at your hardware. If you've got outdated hardware on your cabinets.
And that's something anybody can change out.
All it takes is a screwdriver.
And you can eliminate the hardware as well, because very much they undergrab the way the doors are channeled, you can grab them underneath.
Yeah, but if they've got knobs, they may not be under-channeled. So you've got to look at the situation. Yeah. And then if you do that, you're going to plug the holes, patch the holes, and paint it. So if you've got stained cabinets, then that's not going to work.
Right, but you can replace and update your cabinets. And short of painting and refinishing the cabinets, if they've been hanging there for a long time, they're just oily and dirty. You would be amazed what Murphy's oil soap and elbow grease on the old cabinets will do. Take off the old hardware. Seriously, scrub down your cabinets. If they're painted cabinets, change the color, change the style. You can change out the doors. The antique shops here in town have lead glass. They have old cabinet doors that you could replace doors with one that's got lead glass in it. You can get very creative, and this is the kind of thing you can do yourself.
If you've got any cabinetry skills or carpenter skills, you might.
Or screwdriver. A lot of the stuff you can do with a screwdriver.
Same size and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you just measure them up and look at them.
What is lead glass?
Leaded glass. It's pieces of glass that are seamed together.
With lead.
With lead.
Like you see.
And one of the things that you can do to add color to a window, too, instead of taking the window out, if you want to have a stained glass window, you can buy stained glass in all different sizes and picture frame it and insert it in that window. Because one of the things with lead glass is it air leaks. It's not a perfect seam. But if you mount it inside over another window or in the kitchen cabinet, then you have the benefit of all the color. But hardware is a big one. And if you're going to update your kitchen with appliances, especially the old stuff comes out, then you do what?
You go to an Energy Star certified or rated type appliance. And really, if your refrigerator's 20 years old or so, then you need to go ahead and think about it, because they burn a whole lot more energy, the older type appliances do, than the newer ones. All of them right now are required by code to be built to certain specifications to reach certain energy codes. But the Energy Star rating is usually 20% above that code. So you go in and look for your Energy Star seal on those appliances and replace them slowly if possible. But that's another great thing that you can do to update and to save energy. And we've got to take another break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Are you having a construction-related issue? Do you need a construction attorney? If so, you may call the law firm of Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Kelly's family background in the construction industry has led to her focus in construction litigation, with over 9 years of experience practicing construction law in and around the metro area. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com, or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009.
KMDA's principal office is located in Louisville, Texas.
Alamo Appliance, 100 South Riverside Drive in Fort Worth, has been dedicated to serving your needs in kitchen appliances for over 35 years. They offer Jenair, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and many others. Their experienced sales staff will help you make the right decisions at the right time. That's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701. Once again, that's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116.
Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford, and my wife here is Jean Gibson, Vice President of Gibson Home Builders, and we're talking about remodeling today. And the main thing that you need to do when you're going to hire a remodeler is check out that remodeler. Mm-hmm. And don't just grab the first guy that comes through the door. Most all builders, well, I'll say all builders. Maybe not all of them. But if we lose a sub, we go out and we call other builders and say, hey, who you using for sheetrock, or who you using for plumbing, or who you using for your air conditioning guy? What do you feel about him? And I may call 2 or 3 builders and say, this guy, you're using him. What do you think of him? Does he show up on time? Is his work quality work? So looks like we've got a phone call coming in here. So this is Jim Gibson. You're on the air. Can I help you?
Hey, Hey, Jim, this is Geneva Martin.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I listen to y'all all the time, and this is one thing that really pertains to me.
Okay.
And I just wanted, I am looking at, my house is 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at recarpeting and painting the inside, outside. And then, like, my tub and my sink, the drains need replacing.
Right.
And so those kinds of things, can I hire one person to do that?
You can. Now, basically what you're going to do is look at all your list. You've got a plumber, you're going to have painters, or you can have a handyman that knows how to do all this. You just need to make sure that he does know how to do all this, and that's why I'm saying that a lot of times it's better to go in and hire somebody that's a builder or a professional remodeler that has a reputation and is noted for doing all that. The main thing that people have a problem with is going out and hiring these people, and I've heard horror stories about them coming in and taking so much money, and then they vanish and never see them again, or they'll come in and start part of it and take the money and then vanish. So you really need to call references. We've been picking up a lot of remodeling jobs here lately, because I used to remodel years ago, and I kind of got out of it because you're always in somebody's home. You've always got their life disrupted, especially if you're doing a kitchen or a bathroom.
Right.
And it's a big job. So just to hire somebody that you can get references on. And,
okay, that's probably what I really need, because I'm a widow, and I don't understand all those things, so I need someone that I can trust that will tell me, well, you need to do this or you don't need to do that. Right,
because, a lot of it may just, like on your plumbing drains and stuff like that, they may just need to be cleaned out, may not need to be replaced. But you can, once you email me at jim@masterbuildershow.com, do you have email?
Yeah,
Okay, jim@masterbuildershow.com. And I'll give you some suggestions, and we'll talk.
Okay.
All right?
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your call.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, I like the idea of coordinating everything. If you put together a whole project and have one person. Remember years ago, my mother hired a handyman to do a carpentry job. He bought materials, left it in her yard.
Right.
He started a job. He started building bookcases or cabinets or something for her.
And then he left.
And he took the balance of the money. So not only did he have her house disrupted, he had the yard a mess with things all left out and skipped out with thousands of dollars for her.
Well, the thing was, too, she didn't get any references. She didn't have any way to contact him.
He was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy. And
so we tracked him down with the police.
I ended up going over and finishing it just to get her.
We know where you live.
Yeah, we happened to live next door to her at that time.
Yeah.
And, but, yeah, you just kind of got to watch it. I mean, these people come in, and I'm not saying all remodelers that way. There's a bunch of good people out there, good remodelers, good contractors, and they're just one bad apple every now and then. But that one bad apple can really stick you for some pretty good
And that's
money.
What makes everybody nervous about hiring anybody.
Right.
But it is a whole lot easier to hire one contractor to handle everything.
Right. If you
let
can
him
find
pull
somebody,
it together.
Yeah, let him coordinate everything, and he can usually send you to the best places to get things and get discounts for you. And this is.
And there's a lot of decorators around too. You don't need an architect necessarily, unless it's a mammoth remodel and adding $1 million wing. But a decorator can help you out too to upgrade, update your house, and work with your contractor on the colors, on the hardware, on what appliances need to be replaced, and to talk about the windows and the insulation and see what's really critical and update that leaky faucet.
Well, it looks like that's going to be it for this week's show, and we will be back here next Tuesday at 8 a.m.